Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. The Dolphins have officially secured a winning streak for the first time this season. So, let's get this underway. The Dolphins beat the Commanders 16-13 in overtime in Spain, thanks to Jack Jones with his fitting interception and celebration as he celebrates in Cristiano Ronaldo style. So, his interception puts the Dolphins in field goal position and they walk it off. Where Jones intercepted Mariota on the first offensive play of overtime, and Patterson kicked a 29-yard field goal to give the Dolphins a 16-13 overtime win over the Commanders. Um, Jones cut in front of Commanders tight end Zach Ertz and came away with the ball. This was an ugly game. The Dolphins had made so many mistakes in this game, but the Commanders made more mistakes throughout this game. So it was a battle of who makes less mistakes, to put it that way. Dolphins, now 4-7 in the year. They were stopped twice on 4th and goal, including inside the final 2 minutes after recovering the ball on an earlier muffed punt return by the Commanders. The muff came after the Commanders were stopped on 4th and goal the other way. It was the 7th and final international game of the season, the most in 1 year for the NFL as it continues to expand globally. So the Commanders, still without Jaden Daniels, now dropped 6 straight, including the 44-22 blowout loss to the Lions last week, while the Dolphins were coming off a commanding 30-13 victory over the Bills. Tua today went 14 of 20 for 171 yards, nothing for touchdowns or interceptions. He kind of just went through the motions, so cool. Mariota went 20 for 30 with 213 yards, a touchdown, and the interception in overtime, had 49 yards rushing, including that 44 on a run not long after he was taken to the blue tent to be evaluated for a concussion. However, Devon Achane, another big game for this Dolphins team with 120 yards on 21 carries, 45 yards on 5 receptions. He had 165 total yards on the day. So after both teams exchanged a pair of field goals in the first half, the Commanders put together a strong drive to begin the third quarter, where Washington scored the first touchdown of the game on a 20-yard reception by Samuel. The Dolphins tried to respond quickly and drove the Commanders to the 2-yard line, but they went for it on 4th down and failed on an incomplete pass from Tua to Waddle on 4th down. After the Commanders were held, Miami put together another strong possession, and Ole Gordon scores on the 1-yard run, making it 13-13. Mariota led the Commanders to the 1 after temporarily leaving the game and clearing the concussion protocol. The Commanders quarterback couldn't close out the drive with the score, and they ended up throwing an incomplete pass after Ertz tripped near the end of his route on 4th and goal. That was, if anything, the changing point of the game, because after that, it just went on the Dolphins side from there. The muffed punt, sure, they messed up going for it on 4th down, but still, in the muffed punt, more mistakes from the Commanders, the interception in overtime. So that was the game changer for that moment. So the Dolphins are now heading into their bye week this week. Funny enough, the Commanders are also going on a bye week. So Dolphins go into the bye 4-7, riding a 2-game win streak. They have won 3 of the last 4 games now. This team has looked stupendously better in the last 2 games, especially. This defense looks like they are much improved. That this team has just shown so much more heart ever since that win over the Falcons. I think, yes, that Ravens loss was horrible, by the way, but I think firing Chris Greer is the best decision that they've ever made, just hands down. I do not think Champ Kelly should be the GM. I think he should stay in the organization, but he's not going to be the permanent GM, in my opinion. I think it should be somebody else. But I think it really was an amazing decision as far as that goes. So The Dolphins head into Week 12 with a bye. They will play the New Orleans Saints when they get back from their bye week, and their schedule does not get easier to end the year. I mean, it's not a bad ending schedule. You have the Saints, you have the Jets, the Steelers, Bengals, Bucks, Patriots. Toughest game is the Buccaneers. Patriots, in my opinion, I'm gonna say this. I think the Patriots are probably gonna secure the division by then. I think they're just playing spectacular football this year. I think they're gonna be 11-2 by their bye week. If anything, I think they're gonna be like 12-4 when they play us. Probably should be well secured by then. So I'm not as concerned with that game. The Steelers game will be tough, but they could get that win. Right now, though, I think they could squeeze 3 more wins, and that's about it. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Steelers or the Patriots, but we'll see what happens the rest of the way. I mean, I'm not rooting for them to lose. I would never do that. That's not what I go for. I always want them to do well. I always want them to win. So let's see how things go the rest of the way. Let's see what they do. You know, got some very winnable games coming up. So let's see how they capitalize on it. That being said, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.